All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're unpacking the wild, chaotic world of one of the internet's most famous and, yeah, most controversial streamers, iShowSpeed.
I mean, his story is all about just massive numbers. We're talking tens of millions of followers, and he pulled it off in just a couple of years. It's wild.
And his entire brand really is built on this foundation of just pure, unpredictable, over the top chaos. And you know what? It absolutely hooked a whole generation of viewers. But of course, that's not the whole story. It's also a story about getting banned, getting kicked off platforms, and having to face some pretty serious consequences for taking things way too far. And when you zoom out, what you're really looking at is this super complicated roadmap to global fame in our crazy digital world. So yeah, let's get into it. So, iShowSpeed, or just Speed as everyone calls him, he didn't just show up online. He exploded onto the scene, and he did it by playing a very specific character. And this is where things get really interesting, right? You've got this clear split between the on-screen persona, this chaotic, unpredictable guy, and the actual streamer behind it all, who was super dedicated, streaming every single day to build his audience. He built this character that was purposefully confrontational, and he even admitted he acted, quote, dumber than he is. It was all a calculated play to get views and go viral. And man, did that strategy work. It was built on just pure spectacle. I'm talking about everything from completely absurd stunts like setting off fireworks inside his bedroom to dropping viral songs that would pull in over 100 million views. It was all designed for maximum shock and awe. But the real core of his brand, it was this unwavering, almost religious level obsession with the soccer legend Cristiano Ronaldo. And this just perfectly shows you the scale we're talking about. When he lit that Pikachu firework inside his own room, with other fireworks just sitting around him, he wasn't just messing around. He was putting on a show for a live audience of 140,000 people. Think about that. That's a stadium full of people watching him live. The chaos was the content, and business was absolutely booming. Okay, but you can probably guess what happens next, right? That same boundary-pushing style that got him famous was pretty much guaranteed to eventually cross a serious line. And when it did, it led to some major professional setbacks. Yeah, his career started getting defined by one incident after another, and they just kept getting worse. In 2021, boom, he gets a permanent ban from Twitch for making misogynistic threats on a dating show. Not long after that, he gets banned from the game Valorant for basically the same kind of outburst. And by 2022, it wasn't just about toxic rants anymore. He started promoting a crypto project to his super young audience, a project that almost everyone called out as a total scam. So, and this is the key takeaway here. This wasn't just online drama anymore. These actions started to have some serious, real-world consequences, both financially and for his career. Probably the biggest hit came from Sky Sports. We're talking about a huge global media company, and their statement was just blunt. They said his past comments didn't line up with their values, and that was that. But it was more than just tearing up a contract. They went and scrubbed every single piece of content that featured him from all of their platforms. He was effectively erased. And that whole situation really highlights a crucial rule in the creator world. A bad reputation is just bad for business. It's that simple. If you're a streamer, your entire living comes from brand deals, sponsorships, and just being allowed on the platform. The second you become a liability, you're a risk. And big companies, they have zero interest in risking their brand on someone who's that controversial. So after facing all these pretty massive setbacks, Speed had to make a change. He started this very public campaign to, well, grow up a bit, mature his image, and try to fix his trashed reputation. And his comeback strategy had a few key parts. First, he put out a formal apology, and he actually took full responsibility for what he'd done. Then he went on this big world tour, visiting places like the UAE to learn about different cultures. He started bringing his family, especially his dad, into his content more. And he made a point of publicly donating money in the countries he visited, really trying to show this more generous, more respectful side of himself. And this whole journey, this whole reinvention tour, it all led up to the moment, the one his fans had been waiting on for years. After all the streams, all the songs, all the trips to games, he finally met his idol, Cristiano Ronaldo. And the clip of his reaction, I mean, it was pure emotion. It went viral instantly and became this perfect peak for his whole comeback story. But, and there's always a but with Speed, right? This brings us to the core conflict of his brand. It's a paradox he's always wrestling with. Just when it looks like he's actually matured, that old chaos finds a way to creep back in. You want a perfect example? Look at what happened in 2024. For years, he let his fans use his clips for memes, for compilations, and he totally benefited from it. It's how he grew. Then, out of nowhere, his team starts hitting those same fans with copyright strikes. It was a wild move. He was basically attacking the very community that made him who he is. Oh, and the backlash was immediate. And it was huge. Most of his audience saw it as just plain greedy, a total betrayal. People were saying he forgot where he came from, that he turned his back on them. The heat got so intense that he had no choice but to backtrack, fast, and you guessed it, apologize all over again. And what this whole thing proves is that the fundamental cycle of iShowSpeed is still going strong. He pushes boundaries, usually way too far. Then he faces the backlash from the public and the industry. And that forces him to apologize and change things up, at least for a little while. So it all leaves us with this one big question, not just about speed, but about internet fame itself. For a creator like him, someone whose entire brand is literally built on chaos, is all this controversy just a bug, a mistake he keeps on making? Or is it actually a feature, an essential part of the engine that keeps him at the top?